Take two monarchs. 1. A 25-year-old woman with two small children, deeply shocked by the untimely death of her 56-year-old father and overwhelmed by the heavy burden of office placed on her young shoulders. The other, a 74-year-old man, bereaved by the passing of his 96-year-old mother, finally embracing his destiny. The reigns of Elizabeth II and Charles III could not have started more differently. No wonder, then, that their response to planning their coronations have been so different. The country realized how traumatic it was for Elizabeth to become queen in 1952 when she flew back from Kenya after George VI died in his sleep and told her accession council that "My heart is too full for her to say very much." The young queen then focused on learning her new role and left organizing her coronation, 16 months later in June 1953, to church and government experts. And given her own father's coronation had been just 16 years earlier, there were plenty of people with actual experience of the ceremony at Westminster Abbey. Today, it is King Charles who is in the driving seat. While he has a team responsible for the May 6 ceremony, Westminster Abbey, Lambeth Palace, government and Buckingham Palace officials, he is very much in charge. The king, of course, has personal memories of his mother's coronation. But it is not so much these but his lengthy experience, his wait for this moment, and his character that mean he is so engaged with the planning. One advisor to the team involved in organizing the coronation reportedly explained that the king is, unlike the sovereign in 1953, very much older and more experienced with firmer views. A senior cleric who is also involved in the planning told me, "He really is Renaissance man. He is very informed, he knows a great deal, he wants to ensure this is an exquisite ceremony, full of meaning." The king is completely committed to having a traditional coronation with anointing, oath-taking, and crowning, all within a Church of England communion service. There had been talk, before Charles' accession, that the coronation would be modernized, but the king has made it clear that the essentials must remain the same. Yet he does have a modernizing streak, and it is becoming evident in some details emerging about the coronation. This month, the oil that will be used for his anointing was consecrated in Jerusalem. For hundreds of years, the anointing oil recipe has had olive oil as its base, together with other perfumed oils. But this time, aware of modern sensitivities, ingredients made from animals, such as ambergris, have been left out, making this the first vegan anointing oil. Similar contemporary concerns also mean that the crown for Queen Consort Camilla will not include the Koh-i-Noor diamond, inset below, because of its links to colonialism. That cuts a connection to the king's grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, whose crown included that priceless jewel, but the anointing oil has links to his other grandmother, Princess Alice. Some of the olives used to make it came from an olive grove at the monastery of Mary Magdalene on the Mount of Olives, where Alice, who became a Greek Orthodox nun, is buried. Charles, like Alice and her son Prince Philip, has a long-standing fascination with the Greek Orthodox Church, and he will have fully approved of the anointing oil being consecrated not only by the Anglican Bishop of Jerusalem but also the Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem. Involving a senior cleric who is not an Anglican is a historic ecumenical moment, one that chimes with the king's keenness to reach out to different Christian denominations and other faiths. He told faith leaders at a special reception days after becoming king that he has a duty to protect all faiths. "This diversity," he said, "is not just enshrined in the laws of our country but enjoined by my own faith. That duty and his particular passion for Greek Orthodoxy has also inspired the king to commission Greek Orthodox chanting for his coronation, along with 11 other pieces of new music. The compositions reflect both his taste and his desire for the coronation to have broad appeal. Among those commissioned are Andrew Lloyd Webber and Classic FM's composer-in-residence Debbie Wiseman, while among the top-drawer soloists performing will be Roderick Williams and Bryn Terfel, who will bring a Welsh flavour to the ceremony. Keen to reference his decades as Prince of Wales, the King has also asked the royal harpist, Alice Hws, to perform, and some of the liturgy will be in Welsh. And, in a nod to his time as Duke of Cornwall, Truro Cathedral choristers will join the Westminster Abbey Choir. Now, with just 8 weeks to go, the coronation's order of service is still being discussed and the guest list is being finalized. Whether it is a choice of prayer, or Harry and Meghan receiving invitations, one thing is clear: everything requires the King's stamp of approval. An updated paperback edition of Catherine Pepinster's book, Defenders of the Faith, The British Monarchy, Religion and the Coronation, with new chapters, will be published by Hodder and Stoughton at the end of this month.